So essentially what I'm going to do is I got a picture of The Undertaker and John Cena. And I got a picture of me. And pretty much, you guys, this is what I was talking about. The proper lighting, and, being a character in general. As you see, I'm already in character. I made it to where I was looking face to face with the Undertaker. And this is the PhotoKey software. This will come with your green screen. This is that software I was talking about that essentially just comes with your green screen. So this software is gonna give you all the materials you need, man. And I only paid like $50 for my green screen, and it came with this amazing software. You pretty much don't need anything else, Like I said, the background's already transparent. That saves us a lot of time. But then again, there's sometimes, I might get photos. People might send me where they want to delete the background out and it doesn't have the green screen. That's when I essentially go to Photoshop and manually put them in a transparent background. This is a lot easier for me standing behind a green screen. So I stood behind a green screen to kind of create this photo. And as you see, overviewing the files, what I want to do is just take this picture of John Cena. Well, I kind of messed up, so I'm gonna remove that. Essentially, what I'm going to do is drag my first picture right here of me under that green screen, And as you see, as I drag it to the foreground image, the background is already erased, so I don't have to use a lasso tool. I don't have to use none of that to delete the background. It has already been deleted. Very, very good. Saves me a lot of time, saves me a lot of energy, and all I pretty much got to do is pose and get into character. But that's pretty hard in general. Getting into character, really sizing, really putting yourself in that feel mode that you're facing the Undertaker. And, that's pretty hard. You gotta have it's almost like a form of acting doing this, And as you see, I'm just making that picture a lot larger so it makes it look more authentic. Like I'm really staring into the eyes of the Undertaker. And kind of gotta tweak this, you kind of gotta resize the image. You gotta do a whole bunch of things to kind of make it look realistic. As you see right now, I'm trying to put the image to where me and Undertaker are essentially the same size. And I might have to crop this later. I might have to go into Photoshop and crop this later so it could add a little bit more of a, authentic kind of feel to it. That's what we want. And as you see, like I said, it's all about getting in the character. You find a picture on Google and you stand behind that green screen and kind of get into that character. The Undertaker is facing toward me. So I made sure when I was doing this pose, I made sure to kind of look up like I was looking at somebody. Even though there was nobody there, I kind of visualized like I was looking at somebody, looking up. And that's actually, how it looks. You visualize you looking at a person. And then later on, you put it into a photo, and then it's like you're right really there. So this is all in a sense of acting in general. So pretty much now that I got everything in place, it looks like I'm really looking directly into the Undertaker's eyes. It looks like we're about to fight. It looks like we're about to bang. And that's it. I'm saving the image. I'm saving that image. And pretty much I'm going to take it right over to Photoshop. Photoshop is already ready for me. I'm taking that right over to Photoshop. Now you see, me and the Taker are already in that background. I transfer it right over to Photoshop. And there it is. But as you see, the image is halfway cut off. So like I said earlier, I'm probably going to have to crop it to make everything fit. I'm probably going to have to crop this image to make everything fit. What I'll do is I'm going to that crop tool right now and just resizing the whole entire image. And you know, it's still going to keep the pixels. The pixels are still going to look good. I'm not cropping it too much where it looks terrible. I'm just cropping it toward like the hairline, you know, basically the hair, and I'm just resizing that whole entire image. And bring it down some lower, just a tad. I'm going to bring it down just a little lower. And as you see, that part of that hair is still missing. You know, the main objective is to make this look as real as possible. So as you see, that hair is still kind of missing. And what I want to do is, I want to go to the clone step. The clone step tool is a very efficient tool. It's under the expert. And what that does is clone any area that you might be missing. So I'm missing hair. So what I'll do is double click on the mouse. I'll do a left click in my clone step tool. And I'll kind of just double click on the mouse, and it's going to print out any excess area that I'm going to use to kind of cover his hair up. As you see, that's pretty much all I'm doing. That's why they call it a clone stamp tool, because you're basically taking bits and pieces of the picture and cloning it. You know, I'm cloning little parts of his hair right here to kind of make it look real, kind of fill it up. And as you see, I'm just going nice and slow, no rush. Basically, take your time doing this. I mean, this is somewhat of an art right here, and you want to definitely take your time when, you know, cloning. There's always a delete button. Don't be afraid to delete and, you know, press redo, because you might make a mistake. But pretty much all I'm doing is left clicking it. I have the clone stamp tool already highlighted, so the Photoshop software knows what I'm doing, you know, and I'm just going between the edges. And as you see, now, you know, you don't have that line, you know, it's like a full stem of hair. And like I said, you gotta undo it. As you see, I press undo. I made a mistake. Mistakes are very common in Photoshop. So pretty much I got his hair going. Everything looks pretty good. It looks like I'm staring directly at the Undertaker, man. It looks like we're about to go. It looks like we're about to go for this WWE Heavyweight Championship. And believe me, I'm the champ, and he's not going to take it. Oh, wow. So it looks like I still got a little bit of kinks I need to work out. So what I'll do is, I'll probably go to expert again. And, you know, kind of finish it up. Oh, wow, yeah. So right now, you know, I'm just using the clone step some more to kind of fill that hair out, you know, fill that excess hair out I didn't get. And all I'm doing is just right clicking, you know. Once you get the hang of it, it's like art. Very simple, you know, very simple, you know, just taking bits and pieces of that picture. And sometimes, you know, I'm taking what I already cloned and using that to my advantage. The main objective is to make this picture look as real as possible. And that's exactly what we want. We want it to look as real as possible. We want it to look efficient. So, just going over it with the clone tool. As you see, I'm almost done. I got the full set of hair. It looks like we're staring directly at each other. Me doing this clone step tool, actually adding hair to the unclear areas, it's very good. It's gonna give it that real authentic feel. As you see, I'm I'm in a kind of a situation, I gotta be very careful not to get my face, which I am, and that's pretty much it. That's actually how you add hair to your face. So, like, if you don't have hair on your face, you can actually use Photoshop to kind of put hair on your face and give yourself a digital kind of haircut. I will show you guys that in a later tutorial, how to actually put hair on your face and give yourself a digital haircut. I mean, it's just so much stuff you can do with Photoshop and video editing, man. You just gotta use your own creativity. As you see, I'm sharpening up the image to kind of bring out more of the detail. And you see, as I sharpen it up, the photo, it adds a little bit more depth and it adds a little bit more detail, and that's what we want because the photo is essentially complete. So now all we're doing is just tweaking it. We're going under the black and white. We're going under all different type of aspects of this photo, and we're seeing what works best. Because essentially it looks good already, but with Photoshop, you got so many filters that you can use to make this photo look even better than what it already is. I mean, hey, why not use it? As you see, I just used the Orton effect, and now I'm just gonna blur out that background just a tad, and that's how it looks. Gives it that kind of dreamy WrestleMania type of feel. It's just so many different aspects. Right now, I'm just using these as prime example because the photo is essentially complete. It's pretty much done. And these are just all the things you can do with this photo saturated film effect. It'll give it that filmy type of look. It'll give you pretty much, that Hollywood type of style. And all I did was just click on that. Now I'll probably go to lighten and do the shadows, kind of really bring it out. As you see, just tweaking with the shadows, will really bring in depth to that picture. They use this type of editor on a lot of the WWE games. They use the shadowing technique to bring out the muscles, the facial features. They use they use lightning to darken, highlights, mid-tone. They use all that. So don't be afraid to go to your shadows and kind of tweak that photo to bring out as much detail in it as you can. As you see, there's much detail on the beard, the face. It actually looks like we're in the middle of a fight standing off, and I'm nowhere near as tall as the Undertaker. I'm about 5'9", or 5'8". The Undertaker's like 6'4", fucking choke slam me and toss me, But the idea in Photoshop, there are no laws in Photoshop, so it looks like I'm standing head to head, toe to toe with this big giant, and I'm ready. There's no fear. And you see, I'm just going to filters. Don't be afraid to just go to your filters and just explore, because these filters alone, you can give it that kind of cartoony look as well. And, you get any type of look you want to. The sky's the limit. Hey, this can even go on a t-shirt. So self-expression is always good, man. It attracts people, man. Self-expression like this, man, if I were to easily put this on a t-shirt, which I probably will later on in our video, I'll just put this on a t-shirt. You might see me walking around with this t-shirt on because I'm having so much fun with it. And as you see, that's that cartoony feel, you can add poster edges to it and give it that kind of cartoony look, which is very, very good. Explore with your filters, man. If you get Photoshop and Adobe Premiere, which will run you about $150 altogether, definitely when you're into this, explore with the filters. They are very beneficial, and they will definitely come in handy as well as you're editing your photos, because every filter does something different. And if you master those filters, you can create any image you want. Any of these t-shirt images, they use a lot of different filters on Photoshop to kind of bring that image out. Layering, shadowing, photo blending, they use it all. Okay. So that's pretty much the end of this tutorial. I showed you guys exactly how I was able to put myself into the picture with the Undertaker, and everything worked out pretty good. And you know, it's all about having that green screen, proper equipment, and you know, using every material you got to your advantage, whether it be your cell phone, your camera, or anything, you know. Or even making a green screen yourself, which can be done. You can get green paper at a dollar store, you know. So basically, you know, no excuses, man. If you got a dream, and you know, sometimes it's not about the money, man. You know, use equipment, use your own equipment to what you got. For a while, I didn't even have a green screen. You know, I was just using my phone. I was using my phone to do all my graphic design, and you know, and it still works good. You know, sometimes I do use my phone, but it's good to know It's good to be able to use everything to your advantage, whether it be your computer or phone. You don't want to be limited to anything. You want to be able to use your computer, your phone, to do your camera, to do any type of graphic design. You know, we live in a technology-based world where they will give you apps to actually do graphic design, photo blending apps, any type of apps to actually do video editing. So if you can't afford the Adobe Premiere or anything, you can download iMovie or any type of photo blending app for less than $5 and still get it in. I will show you that in another tutorial, how to work iMovie as well. This is Jackie Steck Graphic Design. It's all about sharing that knowledge. Stay focused on your goals. I'm out, yo. Peace.